the main thing is you get everybody more prosperous. If everybody more prosperous, you get less protests, you get less problem, and so on. So it's actually now a Chinese model.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
And
But how much of the push against dissent and the restriction of freedom of expression is coming from President Widodo himself? And what's the parliament role and what's PDIP's role?
Well, I think clearly PDIP, especially PDIP under President Mega, is always, you can associate it with as a conservative power. They like to go back to the old order, right? The very old order. They want to amend the constitution, for instance. And but I think Jokowi, I think Jokowi's problem is not that he himself has a certain ideological thing that is conservative. I have to admit that Jokowi is not interested in actually in ideology and so on. He's only interested in economic growth, and what he know about economy is basically the point of view of a businessman. He is a businessman. So to me, it's a very businessman outlook. And of course, if you're a businessman, you don't actually like the voice of the labor. You don't really like the human rights and all this stuff. You think of this as a hindrance to good business or investment. You are more focused on bottom line, how to get good investment, and how, because not because they are bad people, but business people really believe that the main thing is you get everybody more prosperous. If everybody more prosperous, you get less protests, you get less problem, and so on. So it's in terms of priority, the business people really believe that if you get rich, you're happy, you don't protest anymore. It's actually now a Chinese model.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
And the problem is because the Chinese model seemed to work, at least for some people, because before we used only to fight the idea of Singapore model, but it's very easy to dismiss the Singapore model because you said, well, but Singapore is a city-state.
Yeah, so small.
Yeah, so small. But China is a very big country, and you have to admit they, whatever it is that they are doing, they have been able to get rid of a lot of hundreds of millions of poverty, and they have been able to get much more prosperous, and so on and so on. So it's understandable that many people think, oh, maybe Chinese model makes sense. Yeah, but I think Jokowi is also quite influenced by the Chinese model.
So many people within the government, you mean?
Yeah, many people. If you listen to what Luhut, for instance, stated, and Jokowi, and some other Indonesian minister, and even Indonesian business people, they really using the Chinese model as a new alternative, a new narrative.